Sometimes there are no words. There are no words to adequately describe the loss that the Grewal family is experiencing, nor the words to describe the sorrow felt by the members of the Galt Police Department. There are no words to describe the pain experienced by those in this room, throughout the community, who lost an officer, Harminder Grewal, a true public servant committed to ensuring their safety and security. This is a time of sorrow that proves words insufficient to express what we are feeling. However, even in the midst of this sorrow, there are also no words sufficient to express our thankfulness for the life well lived and proud legacy left by Officer Grewal. Nor words sufficient to express our thankfulness to our community, regional partners, and law enforcement professionals around the world who have stood with us since the events of August 22nd. So when words alone fail, how do we pay sufficient tribute to the fallen and adequately explain the impact that Officer Grewal had on our lives? Words will not do on their own. But where words fall short, stories and memories fill in the gaps, provide the richness and meaningfulness of what we're trying to convey. The meaning of Officer Grewal's life and service can only be adequately expressed through the stories shared by those who loved him, those who served next to him, and those who were served by him. So that is what we'll do. Since August 22nd, I've listened to the stories and memories shared by family, beat partners, friends, and community members impacted by the life and passing of Officer Grewal. As I did so, two prominent themes emerged: Officer Grewal's love of his family and faith, and his commitment to his partners in this profession. Officer Grewal loved his family. He held his faith and heritage in high regard. He proudly wore the turban as part of his uniform and did so out of respect and to honor his family and beliefs. Officer Grewal prioritized his family and chose to live close to his parents to ensure they were well taken care of. He shared a love of motorcycles and trucks with his brother. We know these things because he would talk to his partners about his family and upbringing at every opportunity, and always with a sense of pride. Officer Grewal was always eager to share his culture with his partners. When a couple of them mentioned that they were not familiar with traditional Indian food, he spent the next several days bringing different foods from home to share with them. Officer Grewal was committed to this profession. This commitment found its root early in Officer Grewal's life, when as a young man he immigrated to the United States with his family. Upon arriving in the airport, one of his first recollections was of seeing an American police officer for the first time. He explained that he was shocked when the officer smiled at him and talked to his family because he feared the officer would judge them because of their culture and accents. But that was not the case. Rather, the officer was welcoming and helpful, and this interaction had a significant impact on him and contributed to his desire to become a police officer. Officer Grewal's commitment can be seen through the multitude of accomplishments in the short time he served with the Galt Police Department. However, Officer Grewal had a remarkable, well, I'll pick up where I left off, I promise. Officer Grewal's commitment can be seen through the multitude of accomplishments in the short time he served with the Galt Police Department. However, Officer Grewal's commitment and impact go far beyond his accomplishments. Officer Grewal had a remarkable sense of humor, which he was slow to share, but was one of his most endearing qualities. Time does not allow for me to share the stories of the memes he created and posted around the office. Or the messages sent in the early morning hours of his graveyard shift, sometimes interrupting the sleep of those on a more normal shift. Or about how he was the only officer to be the subject of a noise complaint while working out at the police department gym. All of these acts endeared him to those he worked with and brought much needed levity in difficult times. Even in the simplest of gestures, Officer Grewal was impactful. Shortly after his passing, I overheard a local resident whose early morning walking routine takes her past the police department. She was sharing a story about how Officer Grewal would always wave to her and how she referred to him as Officer Mustache until she learned his name. That small act of waving impacted her in such a way that she felt the need to share that story with someone. I imagine there are countless others in the community who could share similar experiences. On the day of the collision, Officer Grewal and his partner, Officer Capri Herrera, were on their way to assist with the Caldor fire for what promised to be a long day serving a community they did not know. I cannot think of a better example to show the type of commitment and selflessness that characterized Officer Grewal's life and final sacrifice. Officer Grewal epitomized what each of us in this room aspire to be. He epitomized what it means to be a beloved family member, a committed law enforcement officer, a person of faith, and a proud part of these United States. Let's all strive to be as faithful and committed in our own lives. And although there are no words adequate to describe his legacy, let us continue to try to do so through the sharing of stories and memories of how he impacted each of us. To the family of Officer Grewal, I'm sorry that you have to experience this loss. Harmon was a bright light in what can be a very dark world. Thank you for allowing us to stand by you through these difficult days, and please know that we will continue to stand with you as long as you will allow us. Our lives are forever intertwined through Harmon and the memory of his sacrifice. To Officer Herrera, thank you for your sacrifice and service to the community and for the strength and resilience you have shown during your recovery. We're all very glad to see you here today. To the men and women of the Galt Police Department, I could not be more proud of your resilience, commitment, and selflessness during this time. Thank you for the courage you've displayed as you've shown up every day to continue the mission that Harmon gave his life for. You've honored his legacy in the way you have stood by him from the initial incident, standing watch over him, and being here to celebrate his life and see him through until he is at rest. There will still be difficult days ahead, but we will see them through together. To Officer Grewal, there are no words adequate to describe our sense of loss or to express how much we miss you. And there are no words to describe our thankfulness for the time we had with you. But we will continue to tell your story. Rest well, brother.